Hey YouTubers and YouTubettes, sorry about missing last week with a vid. Was extremely busy setting up a Plex Media server, and for those of you geeks out there who know what I'm talking about, you know how frustrating that can be. But I was successful and prevailed in the end, and I am now able to share out some home video to my sisters, one who lives north of me and the other one who lives south of me by about 600 to 700 miles. So I got sick of emailing pictures and videos and all that stuff and going through all that crap, so I just set up a server, set it all up there so they can go to one place and see everything. Anyway, enough of the tech stuff. As you can see from the video, we had a bit of a storm here the other day. It was no tornado or anything like that, but it was a very severe thunderstorm, and it really cleaned the trees out, shall we say. As a matter of fact, not quite a few down in our neighborhood. But we are outside, and I did have to pick a few sticks and leaves and stuff out, but I thought I'd give you guys an update on the grow beds. As you can see, you got some Blixa down here, which is growing gangbusters. Some Java moss over here, which is just taking over. Mixed in with a little bit of Riccia. Those are all Amazon swords across the back. I pretty much separated this one out to just those plants. Swinging around over here, we got Rotella indica. That right back there, which is in the center of the screen right now, is what Ludwigia repens looks like when it grows immersed. So, and there's a little piece of a Java fern in there. Some more over here. And a little bit of Salvinia floating plants. But that's pretty much that little container. Water Sprite, water wisteria, whatever. I can't remember which one it is. One of the two. There's gobloads of that. And finally, to the big tank, we got a boatload full of pennywort. Nice large Amazon sword that came out of the 20 long. That is Ludwigia repens, once again. This is some, what do we call this? The Sunset High Grow. Very pretty plant. Illegal in some states, so if anybody's interested in that, please check with your local state ordinances and see if it's legal for you to have. And this is the high grove, not high grove, it's aquatica, Limnophilia aquatica, I believe it is. And we also have some more Java fern in here. And that's the Wendelove flavor, by the way. So, reason I'm showing you all this is all up for sale. All up for sale. Really, really cheap. Make me an offer. Obviously, I'm not going to ship everything to you all at once, but then, hey, if you got the money, I will. I'll do it. I'll do it, man, in a heartbeat. But make me an offer on what you find interesting in here. We got till the end of the growing season, which here in South Carolina is probably in November, when it gets too cold and everything dies off. So I've got no room for it and no space in any tanks to put it in my tanks. So it's got to go by the end of the summer. So, yeah, send me an IM or email me at Paul's Planted Aquariums. That's Paul's with an S. Planted Aquariums with an S at gmail.com. And you can be the owner of some of this beautiful plants. And just for the sakes of weeding out some of the emails, no, I'm not giving it away. So make me a reasonable offer. Anyways, that will take care of that. I had to throw in a frivolous shot of my bird, Indy. He's enjoying the weather out here on the back porch, which he calls his aviary. Okay, on to the top 10 list. Okay, so we're going to move on to the top 10 list. And I'm going to do a little background on this a little bit. This is kind of not necessarily the top 10 I like to watch. I think these are the top 10 most useful sites or most informative sites. Now, I'm not going to do these in any particular order because I sat down and tried to go 1 through 10 being 1 the best and 10 being the least. And I really kept switching around and switching around and switching around to the point where I got, you know, they're all real good. So I'm just going to name them off in no particular order, so none of you guys, if you see this video, come back and say, well, how come you mentioned me third? Doesn't mean you're the third best or the third worst or whatever. It just happens to be how your name fell on the list when I was going through all my subscribers. And the ones that I watch, at least, you know, or that I watch a lot of and think that are very informative. For those of you who did not make the list that are my subscribers, I think you all are fantastic. These were just the ones that really kind of stand out. I think a lot of you will agree that they go the extra mile on a lot of their videos. So anyway, let's get on with it. Okay, we're going to start with a very obvious one, and I think just about every top 10 DIY or every top 10 list comes out with this, and that's DIY Joey. Joey Mullins. He, you know, he's always up there on somebody's list, and I think he's pretty much top on YouTube right now. So yeah, we got to include him. Joey does a great job of explaining how to save a few bucks. Or how to design if you're just a handy person and you like to do the stuff yourself. Either way, DIY Joey is just fantastic, and highly recommend his site. If you haven't seen it yet, you must live in Timbuktu, but you know, hey, if you haven't seen it, go check it out. Otherwise, I'm sure everybody knows that one. Next, we'll go with ADU Aquascaping. This guy, real nice guy, real nice guy. I've had some dealings with him. As a matter of fact, the rock work, this, let's see if I can get my finger in here. This rock work right here, which is like a lava rock, I got from him. He's out in the far west, Nevada, I believe. Southern Nevada, and he has some very, very, very informative videos that he's got on his channel, and I would highly recommend subscribing to him if you haven't already. Great guy. I chatted with him through email and everything. Real nice, down to earth, great guy. So definitely check him out. Next, we're going to go to BRSS TV. Now, I know for those of you who are plant and freshwater tank enthusiasts and stuff like that, yes, this is predominantly a saltwater site. They have the, you know, BRSS.com and all that stuff and everything, but there's a lot of stuff on their site that you can use for freshwater too. It's not completely saltwater, and a lot of their videos are very informative because there's a lot of crossover between fresh and salt, more than you know. So, you know, with water chemistries and stuff like that, definitely I would suggest putting them on your watch list. Next, we have Definite Aquascape TV. Now, here's one for you planted aquarium people who get into design work of your aquarium and layouts and all that stuff. He is I believe he's from Germany, and he travels all throughout Europe and goes to all the shows where they do the aquascaping bit. And these are just some beautiful aquascape tanks. So if you want to see some nice layouts, these are definitely comparable to the Amano type style tanks and everything. It's just a European style. I would definitely check out Definite Aquascape TV. Next we got DIYAquaPros. This guy has a lot of informative information on his site. I really enjoy his videos. Just check him out. Next, which is also another obvious one that if you haven't seen him, I really would be surprised, and that's Dustins Fish Tanks. Old Dustins, he was kind of the king and led the way for the Planted Aquarium group on YouTube. He's still up there in the tops. Matter of fact, I think he's still leading in the tops as far as the Planted Tank deal goes. He has a website that I would definitely suggest you check out, especially if you're starting in. He is predominantly for those of you who want to keep a planted tank but want to keep it very, very simple. You're busy with life and you just want to throw some plants in there, maybe a little fertilizer from time to time, feed the fish, and maybe trim a plant or two occasionally and not have to worry about it too much. You're not into the high-tech tank where you're putting in the fancy lights and everything. You just want something that'll grow and what you got. That's definitely the person you want to go see, Dustins Fish Tanks. Okay, next one. This is also a saltwater, although he does do a few freshwater in here, but I find it very interesting and very informative as far as lessons learned. And that's LA Fish Guy. This is a guy that's out in, obviously, LA, or in the LA area, and he has a fish or an aquarium cleaning service and maintenance service. And he takes you through a lot of his contracts, and believe me, most of them are up in the nicer areas, you know, multi-million-dollar homes and stuff like that. So you get to see some really beautiful homes and some really beautiful fish tanks. And he also is very informative because he shows you some of the problems that he deals with running and taking care of all these tanks. So, you know, when a disease breaks out in the tank, how he handles it, when, you know, fish are dying, how to diagnose what might be causing that, you know, whether it's a water chemistry problem or one fish that happens to be attacking the others or whatever. You know, a lot of interesting information in there. And he also does some tours of local, import, where a lot of our fish come from when they're imported from Borneo and Indonesia and all that stuff. When they come in, they usually come in through California. And these big plants have these fish, and they send them out all over the country to your local fish stores and stuff like that. So a lot of interesting stuff there. So check him out, LA Fish Guy. Next up, LUP Diesel. I cannot think of the guy's name right now. If you watch some of his videos, he mentions his name. But at any rate, I think he's in the like Ohio area or somewhere, not East Coast, but inland a little bit. He has currently opened up his own shop. He rented out a building, and he's built a big fish room in there. As far as I can tell from his videos, he looks like he's predominantly doing shrimp, freshwater shrimp, and it's got just about any flavor that you want in freshwater shrimp. He is also mixing in with some fish, so he's going to have them for sale. Not sure if he's got a website yet, but you can go to check him out on his YouTube channel, and there's information where how to get a hold of him through the YouTube channel if you're interested in buying any of his shrimp or fish. He's also got a lot of information because he takes you through the fish room, and he goes through, if you go back in the history of some of his videos, you can see how he built the fish room, and you know, the different, you know, if you're thinking about building a fish room, that's a good place to start because it's got some great information in there of how to set one up properly. So that's LUP Diesel, L-U-P-D-I-E-S-E-L, LUP Diesel. Next up is Ted Judy. Now Ted is pretty much primarily a pistogramma guy, which is the South American cichlids. Difference between South American and African cichlids, which everybody knows about, is that the South American cichlids aren't as aggressive as the Africans are. They're not quite as colorful, although they have their own beauty. As a matter of fact, if you watch my channel or subscribed, you've seen a lot of the South American cichlids that I'm breeding right now. The pistogramma cockatoides double reds, and recently I just got in some agassiz, flametail agassiz. The big thing about the pistogrammas is that they're not easy to get. So they're kind of a novelty, and you know, you get a couple of those in your fish tank, your friends will come over and wonder what the heck they are and how to get them, and like I say, they're not easy to get, and they're not cheap. Although I am selling them, so if anybody's interested, go back and look at some of my videos beforehand, and you will you know, get in touch with me, and I'll be glad to sell you some. Okay, as far as Ted goes, he's a wealth of information for how to set the tanks up, how to run a fish room, how to run a business, and a lot about the different species of pistogrammas, along with some of the other normal species. So check him out. That's Ted Judy. Next up is the Rick, 2325. Now, if y'all haven't checked out the Rick, he is he's very entertaining. He does a series where he does one-on-one, and he goes to a lot of the YouTubers out there and does like a one-on-one video with them. And you see him asking the questions, and then you see the video of them that they will shoot wherever they are answering the questions. And he is from the Hawaiian Islands. I'm not sure which island. I think the big one. But he's got some beautiful tanks. Definitely go out and check him out. Very, very entertaining in his videos. And the interviews are very interesting too, because you get to see and learn a little more about some of the other YouTubers that are out there, and you know how they got started and that kind of thing. So check out the Rick. Okay, now we're going to get into some honorable mentions. I had to throw these last 5 in because they're just too good to let ride. Very informative. The reason some of these are honorable mentioned and not in the top 10, and would have been probably in the top 10, unfortunately, they have some of these have kind of fallen away from doing videos and way overdue for new videos, so they got knocked back into the honorable mentions. So we'll start with CyberAquarius. CyberAquarius, I believe, is from Georgia, and he does the African cichlid tanks and saltwater. Very interesting videos. He has a couple that where he does some experiments with water chemistry, and you have to kind of go through and chill through his videos, his past videos. Got some real interesting and very educational stuff on there. So check out CyberAquarius. Next is DIYAquaPros. They're a relatively newer channel, and they were putting out quite a few videos for the first stretch of their tenure, but I haven't seen much from them lately. They've kind of laxed on that. I would imagine that they're college grade students, so maybe they're gotten tied up with schoolwork and that kind of thing, and maybe that's what's keeping them from doing so many videos or whatever like that. But it's a very scientific twist too. They go into depth water chemistries and how the nitrogen cycle works, and use a lot of big words. So yeah, you might get a little lost in what they're saying, but you're still going to get something out of it if you watch their videos. So I would highly recommend checking out DIYAquaPros. Next up is Nick Mach 007. So that's Nick MACH 007. Nick is he's a character. He's a real character. Very, very knowledgeable guy. Got some great videos on do's and don'ts, how to euphemize if it comes to the point where you have a sick fish and you know it's not going to make it, the proper humane way to euphemize a fish. He's got videos on filtration and on UV sterilization. A lot of real interesting and informative videos. So check out Nick Mach 007. Next up, honorable mention is The Green Machine. The Green Machine is a shop that specializes in planted tanks. They have aquascaping contests, and they have full-length videos of how they actually set up some of their aquascapes from beginning to end, where you see a bare tank and the video is how they add the substrate, how they add the additives to the substrate, how they slope it, how they add the rock work, the plants and everything, all the way to finished product. So if you're interested in aquascaping and planted tanks and stuff like that, they also have a website where you can buy stuff from. Definitely suggest that you check out and subscribe to The Green Machine. And last but not least is KG Tropicals. Now, for those of you who are African cichlid people, this is the channel you want to subscribe to. This guy has a wealth of knowledge on African cichlids, all and any. He also has a podcast that he does from his home, and that's worth checking into. I think you can go to Stitcher, and if you got a tablet or a phone or whatever, you can download the Stitcher app or whatever and look up KG Tropicals and listen to his podcast. Also has a website, kgtropicals.com, and of course his YouTube channel. Definitely recommend if you're an African cichlid kind of guy. And he also has a lot of other information that cross genders over into just freshwater, keeping freshwater fish. It's not completely African cichlid. But definitely check out KG Tropicals. So that's going to sum it up for the top 10 and honorable mentioned for the day. I thank everybody for tuning in. We're experiencing another major storm that's coming through here. I think it's just dying off now. Good thing I shot the video of the outdoors a little earlier, because I'm going to probably have to go out and clean up the mess that this storm just made. So I got to get back to work, and everybody have a fantastic weekend, and we will talk to you soon.